Good evening, everyone, and welcome aboard. Please make yourselves comfortable wherever you'd like to sit tonight. The upper deck is open if you'd prefer a view across the rooftops, and downstairs is available if you'd rather settle into a quieter corner. Take your time. There's no rush. Tonight's journey will be a slow and gentle tour through the historic city of Oxford, a city of colleges, libraries, quiet courtyards, and ancient streets. A place that feels almost timeless during the day, and perhaps even more so at night. The crowds have mostly disappeared now. The students have returned to their accommodation. The tourists have gone back to their hotels. The shops have closed their doors. And Oxford begins to reveal a different side of itself. A quieter side, a slower side. A city that seems perfectly suited to a peaceful late-night journey. So settle back into your seat. Allow your shoulders to relax. Let the sounds of the day drift a little further away, and together we'll take a gentle ride through one of England's most beautiful cities. Our bus is currently waiting on St. Aldate's, a broad street running through the heart of Oxford. Ahead of us, illuminated by warm golden lights, stands Christ Church, one of the most famous colleges in the city. Its impressive stone buildings date back hundreds of years. Founded by Cardinal Wolsey in the 16th century, later refounded by King Henry VIII. Many visitors know Christ Church for another reason. Parts of the Harry Potter films were inspired by locations here. The grand staircase and dining hall have become instantly recognizable to generations of film fans. But tonight, there are no crowds gathered at the gates. No queues of visitors waiting for tickets. Only quiet pathways and softly lit windows. The ancient stone seems almost to glow against the darkness, as if the building itself has absorbed centuries of stories. We are pulling away now. The bus moves slowly through the city center. The roads are almost empty at this hour. Only the occasional taxi passes by. A cyclist glides quietly through the night. Oxford has always been a city where walking and cycling feel natural. Many of the streets were laid out long before cars existed. Some have existed in one form or another for nearly 1,000 years. As we continue northward, you'll notice something unusual about Oxford. The skyline, or perhaps more accurately, the lack of a modern skyline. There are very few tall buildings here. Instead, church spires and college towers rise above the rooftops. For centuries, visitors have referred to Oxford as the city of dreaming spires, a phrase first used by poet Matthew Arnold. And even now, more than a century later, it remains the perfect description. The city seems to float upward through stone towers and elegant steeples, especially beautiful after dark. Ahead on the left is Carfax Tower, one of Oxford's most recognizable landmarks. It once formed part of St. Martin's Church. The rest of the church was demolished long ago, but the tower remains. Stand and watch over the crossroads at the center of the city. For hundreds of years, people have climbed its narrow staircase to enjoy views across Oxford. Tonight, the viewing platform is closed. The tower stands silent, its clock face softly illuminated, keeping time for a sleeping city. The bus turns gently onto High Street, often considered one of the most beautiful streets in England. Even at night, it's easy to see why. The road curves gracefully between historic buildings. Elegant facades line both sides. Every few meters, there seems to be another doorway, another archway, another glimpse into the city's past. High Street has inspired writers, artists, and architects for generations. Some visitors arrive expecting a university campus. Instead, they discover an entire city woven together by history. colleges blend seamlessly into ordinary streets. Lecture halls sit beside cafes. Ancient libraries share space with modern shops. The city feels lived in, not preserved behind glass. And perhaps that's part of its charm. On our right now stands University College, one of the oldest colleges in Oxford. Its origins stretch back to the 13th century. Imagine that for a moment. Students have been arriving here to study for over 700 years. Generations upon generations. Young people arriving with hopes, ambitions, and curiosity. Many uncertain about what their future might hold. Much like students today, the buildings have changed. The world has changed. But some things remain remarkably familiar. A young person arriving in Oxford for the first time, finding their way through unfamiliar streets, meeting new friends, learning new ideas, beginning a new chapter of life. The bus continues slowly downhill. Ahead of us stands one of Oxford's most famous landmarks, the Radcliffe Camera. Its circular dome rising beautifully above the surrounding buildings. At night it looks almost theatrical. The lighting highlights every curve and every stone detail. The building was completed in the 18th century and serves as part of the university's library system. Many visitors assume it must be a cathedral or governmental building. Its design is certainly grand enough, yet it exists simply for books, for learning, for study, a monument to knowledge itself. The square surrounding it is almost empty now. A few late-night walkers cross the cobblestones. Their footsteps echo softly through the quiet streets. For a moment, the city feels suspended in time, as though centuries are layered on top of one another. Students from 1720, students from 1920, students from today, all somehow sharing the same space. We continue past the Radcliffe Camera and approach the Bodleian Library, one of the oldest libraries in Europe. A place containing millions of books and manuscripts. The collection has grown steadily since the early 17th century. Today it stretches far beyond the historic buildings we can see from the bus. Yet these original structures remain the symbolic heart of the library. Imagine the number of stories contained within those walls. Scientific discoveries, ancient texts, historical records, poetry, letters, maps, ideas that shape the world, all quietly resting on shelves, waiting for someone to open them. There is something comforting about libraries at night. Even when closed, the knowledge remains there, patiently waiting. The bus rolls onward, past narrow alleyways and hidden courtyards. Oxford is full of places that are easy to miss. Small passageways leading between buildings, stone archways revealing unexpected gardens, tiny lanes that seem to belong to another century. Some locals spend years discovering new corners of the city. And even then, there is always more to find. We are now approaching the Sheldonian Theatre, its curved roof visible above the surrounding buildings. Designed by Sir Christopher Wren, the same architect responsible for many famous buildings across England, including St. Paul's Cathedral in London. The Sheldonian continues to host university ceremonies today. Every year, students gather here to celebrate their achievements, graduation gowns, proud families, photographs on the steps outside. Moments remembered for a lifetime. Tonight the building is quiet. The ceremony halls are empty. Only the exterior lighting remains. Soft golden light against pale stone. The bus continues north. The streets become even quieter. Many of the college windows are dark now, though occasionally you notice a single illuminated room. Perhaps someone still studying, finishing an essay, preparing for an exam, or simply enjoying a late evening with a book. Oxford is often associated with academic pressure, deadlines, research, long hours. Yet there's another side to the city, a slower side, one built around reflection, conversation, curiosity, the simple pleasure of learning something new. And perhaps that's why so many writers found inspiration here. Among them was J.R.R. Tolkien, who spent much of his academic life in Oxford, as did C.S. Lewis. The two friends often met with fellow writers and scholars, sharing ideas, discussing literature, debating philosophy. Many of the stories that shaped modern fantasy were developed in this city. It's fascinating to imagine those conversations taking place, perhaps in a quiet room not far from where we are traveling now. The bus approaches Broad Street, wide and open compared to some of Oxford's narrower lanes. On one side stands Balliol College, founded in 1263. On the other side, Trinity College, each with its own history, its own traditions, its own generations of students. Oxford isn't one university building or one campus. It's a collection of independent colleges, each forming part of a larger whole, like pieces of a puzzle assembled over centuries. Together they create something unique, a city dedicated to learning, yet still very much a living city. As we continue our journey, the streets become quieter still. The traffic lights change for no one. The road ahead stretches empty beneath pools of amber streetlight. And for a moment it feels as though Oxford belongs entirely to us. Just a gentle bus ride through ancient streets. No deadlines, no schedules, no expectations, only the steady rhythm of the road, the soft hum of the engine, and the peaceful city around us. We'll continue our journey shortly as we leave the historic centre behind and explore some of Oxford's quieter corners. For now, simply enjoy the ride. Relax into your seat and watch the dreaming spires drift slowly past beneath the night sky. The streets of the city centre begin to fall behind us now. The grand university buildings remain visible in the distance, stone towers illuminated against the night sky. But we are heading toward a different side of Oxford, a quieter side, a side that many visitors never discover. Our bus continues north-westward toward the district of Jericho. The name often surprises first-time visitors. Jericho sounds as though it belongs somewhere much further away. Yet this small neighborhood has been part of Oxford for generations. Today, it's known for its cafes, independent shops, and residential streets. But during the 19th century, it was a working class area filled with industry and small businesses. The atmosphere tonight is entirely peaceful. Rows of terraced houses stretch away beneath warm street lights. Curtains are drawn. Bicycles lean against garden walls. Occasionally, a lamp glows softly in an upstairs window. Signs of ordinary life continuing quietly through the night. Oxford often feels extraordinary because of its colleges and history. Yet thousands of people simply call it home. Teachers, researchers, doctors, students, families. People going about their lives much as they have for decades. The bus turns gently and we pass close to the Oxford Canal. The water is difficult to see at first, a dark ribbon running silently through the city. Then the reflections appear. Streetlights stretching across the surface. Golden lines trembling gently in the darkness. The canal was completed more than 200 years ago. Originally built to transport coal and goods into Oxford, long before railways become dominant, long before motorways connected the country. Narrow boats would travel slowly through the countryside, carrying their cargo. A journey that might take days, perhaps weeks. Tonight, a handful of boats remain moored along the banks, their windows glowing softly. Tiny floating homes resting peacefully beneath the stars. There's something deeply calming about canals at night. No rushing water, no crashing waves, only stillness. The occasional ripple, the sense that time itself has slowed down. As we continue our journey, the silhouette of Worcester College appears beyond the trees. Another of Oxford's colleges. Another chapter in the city's long history. Many colleges here feel hidden from the outside world, their buildings concealed behind stone walls and gates. You might walk past them every day without realizing the beautiful courtyards and gardens that lie beyond. That's one of Oxford's unique qualities. It constantly rewards curiosity. The more closely you look, the more you discover. The bus moves onward. Ahead lies St. Giles, one of Oxford's broadest and most elegant streets. Even late at night there is a certain grandeur here. The wide avenue is lined with mature trees. Historic buildings stand back from the road, creating an unusual feeling of openness compared with the narrower streets we explored earlier. Many important institutions are located here, but tonight everything feels calm, almost sleepy. A gentle breeze moves through the branches overhead. Leaves rustle softly in the darkness. For a moment, it is easy to forget that we are in a city at all. Oxford often feels more like a collection of villages woven together, each district with its own personality, its own rhythm, its own atmosphere. We continue north along Banbury Road, one of the city's major routes. Large Victorian houses line both sides. Many have been converted into university buildings, offices, or accommodation. Others remain private homes. Their gardens hidden behind hedges and stone walls. At this hour, there is very little traffic. The road stretches ahead beneath pools of amber light. The bus glides quietly onward. The steady movement, almost hypnotic. Perhaps by now your eyelids are beginning to feel a little heavier. The city itself seems to encourage relaxation. Nothing dramatic is happening. Nothing demands your attention. Only gentle observations. A quiet journey through quiet places. Eventually, we begin turning back toward the eastern side of Oxford, toward one of the city's most beautiful areas. The road carries us past the university parks. During the day, these green spaces are filled with walkers, runners, and students. Cricket matches are played here during summer. People sit beneath trees reading books. Friends gather for picnics beside open lawns. Tonight the gates are closed. The parks rest peacefully in darkness. Ancient trees stand silently against the sky, their branches forming delicate patterns beneath the moonlight. It's remarkable how much greenery exists within Oxford. Despite its reputation as a city of stone buildings and libraries. Parks, rivers, and gardens appear almost everywhere. Nature and learning existing side by side. Ahead of us now rises the distinctive red brick architecture of Keble College. Unlike many Oxford colleges built from pale limestone, Keble immediately stands out. Its colourful Victorian design often divides opinion. Some love it, others find it unusual, but nobody mistakes it for anything else. At night, decorative brickwork takes on a softer appearance. The warm lighting highlights details that are easy to overlook during daylight hours. The bus continues southward. Soon we approach Magdalen College, one of Oxford's oldest and most beautiful colleges. The college tower rises above the surrounding trees, its reflection sometimes visible in the nearby water during calmer evenings. Magdalen has long been associated with peaceful green spaces, deer parks, meadows, tree-lined pathways. It's difficult to imagine a more tranquil setting for study. Nearby stands Magdalen Bridge, crossing the river Serval. As we roll gently across the bridge, look towards the water below. The river winds quietly through the city, dark and peaceful beneath the night sky. During the warmer months, you'll often see punts here, flat-bottom boats propelled with long poles, a tradition strongly associated with Oxford. Students and visitors drifting slowly along the river, sometimes with impressive skill, sometimes with considerably less. Tonight, however, the water belongs almost entirely to the reflection. Streetlights shimmer gently on the surface. Trees lean over the riverbanks. The city seems softer here, more relaxed. The bus reaches the plain, a large roundabout connecting several important routes. During the day, this area can be busy, but tonight the roads are nearly empty. Traffic flows effortlessly. We continue onward through streets lined with late Victorian and Edwardian buildings. Many students live in this part of Oxford. Their bicycles remain parked outside houses and apartments, ready for tomorrow morning. Oxford's relationship with bicycles is impossible to ignore. They are everywhere. leaning against railings, parked outside cafes, crossing junctions, waiting beside lecture halls. For many residents, cycling is simply the easiest way to move through the city. And perhaps that contributes to Oxford's character. Life feels slightly slower here, slightly quieter, slightly more human in scale. The bus begins moving its gradual return toward the historic centre. The skyline of dreaming spires slowly reappearing ahead, towers emerging above rooftops, familiar landmarks returning to view. The city seems different now, perhaps because we've seen more of it, or perhaps because the night has grown deeper. Everything feels calmer than when we first departed. The streets are quieter, the lights softer, the atmosphere more peaceful. And as we continue our gentle journey through Oxford, the city settles further into sleep, just as perhaps you are beginning to do the same. The road carries us onward, steadily, quietly, comfortably, through one of England's most beautiful cities, and through another peaceful night.